أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear viewers of JemeilTv, welcome back. We have already discussed the period of revelation of Surah Kauthar 108. The surah predicts the fleeting influence of the Prophet ﷺ's opponents compared to his lasting impact on history, highlighting the transient nature of falsehood. Before this surah, Ad-Duha and Alam Nashra, we have seen that when in the earliest phase of prophethood, the Holy Prophet ﷺ was passing through the most trying conditions when the whole nation had turned hostile. There was resistance and opposition on every side, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ and a handful of his companions did not see any remote chance of success. Allah, in order to console and encourage him at that time, had sent down several verses. In Surah Ad-Duha, it was said, "And surely the later period, that is, very later period, is better for you than the former period, and soon your Lord shall give you so much that you shall be well pleased." In Surah Alam Nashrah, and we exalted your renown for you. That is, though the enemies are trying to defame you throughout the country, we, on the contrary, have arranged to exalt your name and fame. And the fact is that along with every hardship there is also ease. That is, you should not be disheartened by the severity of conditions at this time. This period of hardship will soon pass, and the period of success and victory will follow. Such was the condition in which Allah, by sending down Surah Al Kawthar, consoled the Holy Prophet ﷺ as well as foretold the destruction of his opponents. The disbelieving Quraysh said Muhammad ﷺ is cut off from his community and reduced to a powerless and helpless individual. According to Ikrama, when the Holy Prophet ﷺ was appointed a prophet, and he began to call the people to Islam, the Quraysh said, Muhammad sallallahu is cut off from his people as a tree is cut off from its root, which might fall to the ground any moment. Ibn Jarir refers. Muhammad bin Ishaq says, whenever the Prophet ﷺ was mentioned before As bin Wal al-Sahmi, the chief of Makkah, he used to say, let him alone, for he is only a childless man, Abtar, with no male offspring. When he dies, there will be no one to remember him. Shamir bin Atiyah says that Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt also used to say similar things about the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Ibn Jarir refers. According to Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, once Ka'b bin Ashraf, the Jewish chief of Medina, came to Makkah and the Quraysh chief said to him, just see this boy who is cut off from his people. He thinks he is superior to us, whereas we manage the Hajj, look after the Kaaba, and water the pilgrims. Bazar. Concerning this very incident, Ikrama reports that the Quraysh had used the word for the Holy Prophet ﷺ, which means that a weak, helpless, and childless man who is cut off from his people. Ibn Jarir refers. Ibn Sa'd and Ibn Asakir have related that Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, the eldest son of the Holy Prophet ﷺ was Qasim. Next to him was Zainab. Next to her, Hazrat Abdullah, and next to him, three daughters, Kulthum, Fatima, and Ruqayya. Rizwanullah Ta'ala Ajma'een. Of them, first Hazrat Qasim died, and then Hazrat Abdullah. Thereupon, As bin Wail said, his line has come to an end now. He is Abtar. Nauzubillah, that is cut off from root. Some traditions add that As said, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is abtar. He has no son to succeed him. When he dies, his memory will perish, and you will be rid of him. Na'uz the tradition from Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, which Abd bin Humayr has related, shows that Abu Jahl also had said similar words on the death of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, son Abdullah. Ibn Abi Hatim has related on the authority of Shamir bin Atiyah that the same kind of meanness was shown by Uqba bin Abi Muayth by rejoicing at this bereavement of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Atta says that when the second son of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, his own uncle Abu Lahab, whose house was next to his, hastened to the pagans and gave them the good news. Batira Muhammadun al-Layl, Muhammad has become childless this night, or he is cut off from the root. Nauzubillah. Such were the disturbing conditions under which Surah Al-Kauthar was sent down. The Quraysh were angry with him because he worshipped and served only Allah and repudiated their idolatry publicly. For this very reason, he was deprived of the rank, esteem, and honor that he enjoyed among his people before prophethood, and now as cut off from his community. The handful of his companions also were helpless, poor people who were being persecuted, and he was bereaved by the death of two sons, one after the other, whereas the near relatives and the people of his clan, brotherhood, and neighborhood were rejoicing and uttering such words as were disheartening and disturbing for a noble person who had treated even his enemies most kindly. At this, Allah, just in one sentence of this brief surah, gave him the good news, better news than which has never been given to any man in the world, besides the decision that it will be his opponents who will be cut off from their roots and not he.